Welcome back to the channel, Sparkles. Today, we're going to explore the top 10 most valuable 1-cent wheat penny coins from the United States of America. These coins, first minted in 1909, are some of the most iconic and sought-after pieces of American coinage history. Over the years, certain wheat pennies have stood out because of their rare mint errors, copper compositions, unusual shades, and unique conditions that make them highly collectible. Some of these coins, though small in denomination, have sold for hundreds, thousands, and even over $100,000 on the collector's market. Money bag. These treasures are more than just coins. They represent pieces of history, carrying the legacy of Abraham Lincoln and over a century of American coinage. So, if you're a coin enthusiast or someone who appreciates the beauty and significance of U.S. currency, this video is for you. Backhand index pointing right. Let's get started with number 1 on the list. The 1953 D. Lincoln Wheat Penny stands as one of the most fascinating coins in American numismatic history. Minted in Denver during a time of economic optimism following the Second World War, this coin carries with it not only the image of Abraham Lincoln, but also the weight of America's mid-century progress. Though minted in large numbers, the whispers of rare varieties and hidden anomalies have made the 1953 D. Wheat Penny one of those coins that sparks imagination, especially when people speak of a copper strike with extraordinary qualities that could elevate its value beyond comprehension. The Wheat Penny series itself has always been cherished by collectors. Introduced in 1909 to honor the centennial of Lincoln's birth, the coin featured the famous wheat stalks on the reverse, symbolizing America's agricultural strength and prosperity. By 1953, the design was already deeply entrenched in American culture, representing both history and continuity. The D mint mark, standing proudly under the date, tells the story of the Denver Mint's role in supplying the nation with currency during this period of growth and expansion. What makes the 1953 D. Wheat Penny so captivating is not just its history, but the possibility of rare anomalies. Some coins were struck with exceptional sharpness on premium copper planchets, or in unusual conditions that created distinct varieties. When such coins survive in uncirculated or proof-like condition, their beauty is unmatched and collectors clamor for them. Imagine holding a 70-year-old coin that gleams as though it were just struck yesterday. This is a magic that elevates the ordinary into the realm of the extraordinary. Now, picture the myth of a 1953 D. Wheat Penny struck with a special copper composition, one that by accident or experiment went beyond the norm. To have such a coin today would be like discovering a lost treasure chest. Its value would not just rest in the metal, but in the story it tells, a tale of rarity, survival, and history colliding in the palm of your hand. Such a coin could indeed fetch unimaginable prices in the millions, because in the numismatic world, rarity and story often outweigh even precious metals themselves. The Denver Mint in 1953 was bustling with activity. America was in the middle of the baby boom. Industry was roaring, and the country was positioning itself as the world's leader in prosperity. Every coin struck there was meant to fuel this growing economy. Yet, within the mechanical hum of presses and the constant movement of planchets, a few coins may have stood apart. Coins destined not for circulation, but for legend. The 1953 D. Wheat Penny with extraordinary copper content, or minting anomalies, is precisely that kind of legend. Collectors understand that condition is king. A circulated penny from 1953. D may only be worth its face value, but one preserved in flawless condition, untouched by human hands, transforms into a priceless artifact. Such a coin becomes an ambassador of history, carrying with it the untouched shine of the year it was born. For many, the hunt for such flawless examples is as thrilling as the idea of finding a one-of-a-kind anomaly. Over the decades, countless families have hoarded wheat pennies, tucking them away in jars, drawers, and shoe boxes, never realizing the fortune they may be holding. It is not uncommon for someone to stumble upon a 1953 D while sorting through a grandparent's collection, only to discover that the coin they thought was just a penny could hold life-changing potential. This is where the dream comes alive, that a single coin could transform a life overnight. Auction houses have witnessed the electrifying power of rare wheat pennies before. Collectors bid feverishly, not only for the coin itself, but for the chance to own a piece of American history wrapped in copper. a flawless or anomalous 1953. D. Wheat Penny would surely set records, climbing into the millions as investors and collectors battle for ownership. The hammer strike at such an auction would be more than a sale. It would be history in motion. The coin's imagery adds to its mystique. Lincoln, America's symbol of unity and freedom, gazes solemnly on the obverse. On the reverse, the wheat stalks remind us of America's foundation in agriculture, its promise of nourishment, and its prosperity. Owning such a coin is not only about wealth, but about holding on to a fragment of American identity itself. That symbolism magnifies the emotional value of the coin far beyond its physical worth. In the world of numismatics, stories and mysteries are as valuable as the coins themselves. The 1953 D. Wheat Penny has the perfect ingredients: a well-loved design, a rich historical background, a respected mint mark, and the tantalizing possibility of unique anomalies. It represents the idea that miracles can be small, copper-colored, and hiding in plain sight. For anyone fortunate enough to discover such a coin in flawless or unusual condition, the message is clear. Do not let it go cheaply. What looks like an ordinary penny could hold the power to unlock extraordinary wealth and rewrite your fortune. Coins like this are not just money. They are history, art, and destiny fused into one. In conclusion, the 1953 D. Wheat Penny, with its copper charm, stands as a reminder that treasures still circulate among us. Whether tucked away in forgotten collections or waiting to be discovered in the most unexpected places, this coin carries with it the power to change lives. Guard it well, for within its small frame lies the way to history and the potential of unimaginable fortune. Next up, the 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark is one of the most celebrated coins in American history, not only because of its design and legacy, but also because of the stories that surround it. Minted in Philadelphia at the height of World War II, this coin carries with it the echoes of a nation in turmoil, yet determined to stand strong. While millions were struck, the whispers of special varieties, anomalies, and pure copper brilliance have made the 1944 no-mint mark penny one of those coins that collectors dream of finding in forgotten drawer or old jar change. The year 1944 was a turning point in world history. American soldiers were storming the beaches of Normandy. The nation was working around the clock to fuel the war machine, and resources were scarce. During the war, pennies had briefly been made of steel in 1943 to conserve copper for ammunition and military equipment. But in 1944, the U.S. Mint returned to copper, using recycled shell casings from the battlefields. This detail alone ties the coin directly to the war effort, making every 1944 penny not just money, but a relic of courage and sacrifice. The Philadelphia Mint, which produced coins without a mint mark, struck billions of these pennies. Yet within this vast production, a handful of extraordinary examples emerged: coins with superior strikes, unusual copper compositions, or minting quirks that make them stand apart from the rest. These are the coins that numismatists and collectors treasure above all else, the ones that transform from mere pennies into priceless artifacts. Stories of rare 1944 wheat pennies have fueled excitement for decades. Some varieties include transitional errors, like the elusive 1944 steel penny accidentally struck from leftover 1943 steel planchets, or special copper alloys that gleam with unusual brilliance. Owning one of these coins today would be like discovering a hidden war medal, a piece of the nation's resilience cast in metal, preserved for future generations to admire. The beauty of the 1944 no-mint mark wheat penny lies not only in its history, but in its condition. Circulated coins are common, but coin preserved in pristine, uncirculated state, still flashing its fiery copper-red luster after nearly 80 years, can fetch staggering amounts. Collectors prize such examples because they are time capsules, untouched by the wear of daily commerce, and they serve as shining reminders of America's history during one of its darkest hours. Auctions have already proven the power of rare wheat pennies. When extraordinary 1944 examples surface, they attract bidding wars from passionate collectors and investors alike. Prices soar into the tens or hundreds of thousands, and whispers of coins crossing into million-dollar territory ignite imaginations. Such coins are more than currency. They are stories struck in metal, carry with them the power to change someone's fortune overnight. The imagery of the coin also adds to its enduring appeal. On the obverse, Abraham Lincoln's solemn profile represents freedom, unity, and resilience, the very values Americans were fighting for in 1944. On the reverse, the wheat stalks symbolize growth, prosperity, and the agricultural roots of the nation. Together, these designs transform a simple coin into a piece of art, and in the case of rare varieties, into a masterpiece worth unimaginable sums. Imagine finding a 1944 no-mint mark wheat penny in a forgotten box of coins passed down through your family. At first glance, it may seem like nothing more than a small, darkened copper cent, but under the trained eye of a collector, that same coin could reveal itself as one of the rarest survivors of its time, a coin worth not just a few dollars, but potentially millions. That is the magic of this penny. It blurs the line between the ordinary and the extraordinary. Numismatists often say that every coin tells a story. The 1944 wheat penny tells one America at war, of sacrifices made, and of a nation pulling together. The fact that these coins were made from recycled shell casings only deepens their symbolic power. To hold one in your hand is to hold a piece of history that once fueled tanks, planes, and ammunition. That connection between the battlefield and the pocket makes the coin priceless on both a material and emotional level. It is also important to remember the lessons this coin teaches us. Something as small and seemingly insignificant as a penny can carry immense value, both monetary and historical. It reminds us never to overlook the everyday object around us, for they may hold secrets and treasures beyond our imagination. For the 1944 wheat penny, the difference between an ordinary example and a rare, life-changing variety could be the difference between pocket change and a fortune. In the grand story of American coinage, the 1944 no-mint mark wheat penny shines as a symbol of resilience, history, and hidden wealth. Its copper gleam connects us to a past where every ounce of metal was precious, every strike of the mint was tied to survival, and every coin was a testament to endurance. For collectors and dreamers alike, it embodies the thrilling possibility that a fortune might be hiding in plain sight. So, if you ever come across a 1944 no-mint mark wheat penny, guard it carefully. Don't let its humble appearance fool you. Within its copper shell may lie the power to change your destiny. What seems like just 1 cent could, in truth, be the golden ticket to unimaginable riches, a once-in-a-lifetime discovery that proves fortune favors those who look closely at history. Next up, the 1956 D. Lincoln wheat penny stands as one of those coins that collectors instantly recognize, not because it is impossibly rare on the surface, but because of the hidden potential it carries in the marketplace. Struck at the Denver Mint in the millions, most 1956, D. wheat pennies live quiet lives in jars, drawers, and dusty boxes. Yet, among them are extraordinary survivors, flawless copper gems, minting anomalies, and brilliant uncirculated examples that hold a value far beyond their humble denomination. To the trained eye, this coin can transform from an ordinary cent into a fortune-changing artifact. The year 1956 was a pivotal time in American history. The country was riding the waves of post-war prosperity. The Cold War was intensifying, and the culture was beginning to shift toward a new era of freedom and innovation. The penny, the smallest unit of American currency, quietly reflected this spirit of resilience. At the Denver Mint, billions were produced, but the artistry and precision of the Lincoln wheat design still shone with the same strength it had since 1909. This marriage of everyday function and historical symbolism makes the 1956 DA coin worth far more than its face value to those who appreciate its deeper story. While most 1956 D wheat pennies exchange hands countless times in commerce, a select few never entered circulation. These pristine coins, often sealed in rolls, sets, or personal collections, retain their fiery copper-red brilliance. Today, such coins in perfect or near-perfect condition are chased fiercely by collectors. Under the glare of auction lights, a flawless 1956, D can bring prices that seem unimaginable, making ordinary pennies suddenly extraordinary. Beyond condition, it is the errors and rarities that elevate the 1956 D to mythical status. Some coins left the mint with double dies, repunched mint marks, or unusual strike anomalies. These quirks, unnoticed at the time, now drive collectors into bidding wars. For numismatists, Errors are treasures. They prove the individuality of a coin, making it stand out in a sea of billions. In this way, the 1956 D is not just a penny. It is a gateway to hidden wealth for those who recognize its secrets. The artistry of the wheat penny cannot be overlooked. On the obverse, Abraham Lincoln's dignified portrait gazes forward, representing unity and leadership. On the reverse, the twin wheat stalks curve gracefully, symbolizing abundance and the roots of America's agricultural strength. Even in its most ordinary form, the coin carries meaning. But when tied to a rare variation or preserved in immaculate condition, it becomes a piece of history imbued with both emotional and financial value. Imagine holding a 1956 D wheat penny passed down from a grandparent. At first glance, it looks like any other cent, darkened by time. Yet, under a magnifying glass, you notice a repunched D mint mark or the sharp, unbroken luster of its copper surface. Suddenly, what once seemed like spare change reveals itself as a life-altering discovery, a coin worth thousands or even millions in the right market. That is the power of this penny. It blurs the line between the mundane and the miraculous. The marketplace for wheat pennies has always been electrifying. Collector, investors, and historians gather around auction floors and online bidding platforms, each chasing the dream of acquiring the finest examples. When a rare 1956 D crosses a block, the room comes alive with energy. Bids climb rapidly. Numbers leap into the stratosphere. In a matter of moments, a single penny transforms into a fortune. Such moments prove that wealth is not always found in gold bars or jewels. It can be hidden in a small copper coin that once passed unnoticed through countless hands. The 1956 D also represents the closing chapter of the wheat penny era. Just 3 years later, in 1959, the design would change to the Lincoln Memorial Reverse, and a 50-year legacy of wheat stalks. This historical turning point adds another layer of significance to the 1956 D, as it serves as one of the final reminders of the original vision of the Lincoln cent. Collectors know that owning a piece from this transition period is like holding on to the last breath of an American classic. Rarity and history combined make this penny a symbol of destiny. For some, it is simply copper. For others, it is a ticket to unimaginable fortune. Stories abound of ordinary people discovering such coins and seeing their lives transformed overnight. It is not fantasy. It is a reality of numismatics, where history and value collide in spectacular fashion. The emotional pull of the 1956 D wheat penny cannot be overstated. To own one is to possess a fragment of American heritage, a reminder of Lincoln's enduring legacy, and a piece of art that has survived decades. Yet, it also carries a thrilling possibility of sudden wealth, the dream that something so small could hold such unimaginable power. It makes us look twice at every coin in our possession, wondering what secrets might be hiding in plain sight. As you consider the significance of the 1956 D, remember that its value lies not only in copper or rarity, but in the story it tells. It is a story of resilience, artistry, and discovery of a nation in transition and a design nearing its farewell. Each coin is a storyteller, and some tell tales worth millions. So, if you ever come across a 1956 D wheat penny, never dismiss it as just another cent. Inspect it, treasure it, and hold it close, for it may carry the power to change your destiny. This humble copper coin, born in an era of prosperity and challenge, may just be the key to unlocking unimaginable fortune overnight. A reminder that even the smallest things in life can hold the greatest rewards. Next up, the 1942 Lincoln Wheat Penny with no mint mark is one of those coins that captures the imagination of collectors and dreamers alike. Born during the height of World War II, this simple copper coin carries with it not just financial value, but also a deep story of sacrifice, resilience, and hidden fortune. For most people, a penny is nothing more than spare change, often overlooked or tossed into a jar. But for those who know its true potential, the 1942 wheat penny represents a once-in-a-lifetime chance to turn a humble cent into a symbol of wealth and legacy. When this coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, the United States was fully mobilized for the war effort. Factories across the nation were producing weapons, vehicles, and supplies. Copper itself was a critical material used in shell casings, ammunition, and communication wires. To think that a coin created during such a period could survive untouched for over 80 years is nothing short of remarkable. Each 1942 no-mint mark penny is a tangible piece of that wartime history, holding the echoes of a nation at its most determined hour. On the obverse side of the coin, Abraham Lincoln gazes forward with strength and dignity. His image, chosen in 1909 to honor the centennial of his birth, was meant to remind the nation of unity and perseverance. On the reverse, two graceful stalks of wheat cradle the words 1 cent, symbolizing America's agricultural backbone and the promise of prosperity. Together, the design tells a story of endurance, a story made even more powerful when linked to the dark days of global conflict in 1942. Collectors prize the 1942 no-mint mark wheat penny for both its history and its rarity in top condition. While millions were minted, most were spent, worn down, and lost to time. Yet, some coins are set aside in rolls, collections, or forgotten in safes, their copper surfaces still blazing with red luster. These are the coins that ignite bidding wars in today's market. In pristine condition, with their fiery brilliance intact, they fetch unimaginable sums, elevating a penny into the realm of million-dollar treasures. Even more thrilling are the error coins that slipped out of the mint unnoticed. Double dies, off-center strikes, and variations in planchet composition create unique 1942 pennies that collectors crave. Because these anomalies are so scarce, their value can skyrocket. A small flaw to the casual eye becomes a fortune to the trained numismatist. It is this unpredictability, the chance of finding one of these rarities in an old jar of coins, that makes the 1942 penny so alluring. Think of the countless families who might unknowingly hold one of these gems in their possession. A dusty box of coins passed down from a grandparent could contain a 1942 no-mint mark wheat penny worth more than a house, more than an inheritance, perhaps even enough to change a family's fortune overnight. That is the magic of numismatics. Wealth concealed in plain sight, waiting for the right person to uncover its secret. The marketplace for wheat pennies thrives on this excitement. Auction houses, online platforms, and coin shows buzz with energy whenever a rare 1942 example comes up for sale. Collectors from around the globe battle fiercely, their bids climbing higher and higher, fueled by both passion and the knowledge that they are chasing history. Each sale reaffirms that even the smallest coin can command unimaginable respect and financial power. To understand the significance of the 1942 wheat penny, one must see it as more than money. It is art, history, and destiny combined. It was struck during a pivotal year when freedom itself was at stake, and Lincoln's portrait became a reminder of resilience. Owning such a coin is like holding a small piece of America's strength in your hands. For collectors, it is not only a financial investment, but also a connection to a time when an entire nation sacrificed for a greater purpose. What makes the 1942 no-mint mark penny especially captivating is its dual identity. To the casual observer, it remains a penny, a cent hardly worth a glance. But to those who know, it is a key to fortune, a ticket to legacy, and a symbol of hidden treasure. This duality makes it one of the most dramatic and engaging coins in American history. Imagine finding one today. The copper glints faintly under the light as you brush away years of dust. At first, it looks ordinary, but then you see the year 1942 and notice its condition is nearly flawless. Heart racing, you realize you may be holding a life-changing treasure. Such stories happen more often than you might think, for history has a way of leaving clues in the most unexpected places. The 1942 wheat penny's value, then, is not just measured in dollars. It is measured in its power to inspire awe, to stir curiosity, and to change the way we see everyday objects. What was once common has become extraordinary. What was once overlooked has become priceless. It teaches us that fortune often hides in plain sight, waiting for someone with eyes to see. So, if you ever stumble upon a 1942 no-mint mark wheat penny, do not dismiss it as ordinary change. Hold it carefully, study its details, and treasure for the story it carries. Because within that single copper coin lies not only the weight of history, but also the unimaginable power to transform your fortune overnight. In the world of coins, Destiny often comes wrapped in the humblest of forms, and the 1942 wheat penny is living proof of that truth. Next up, the 1957 D. Lincoln wheat penny is a coin that blends together history, artistry, and the hidden thrill of numismatic treasure hunting. At first glance, it looks like an ordinary cent, one of the billions struck by the Denver Mint in that year. Yet, within its copper body lies a story far greater than its humble face value. For collectors, the 1957 D is not just a coin. It is a symbol of the end of an era, a final bow for the beloved wheat penny design that had graced American currency since 1909. To appreciate its importance, we must travel back to the 1950s. America was in the midst of a post-war boom. Industries were thriving, and families were building the modern life we still recognize today. In pockets and purses across the nation, the wheat penny was a constant companion, a daily reminder of Lincoln's legacy and the strength of the American economy. The 1957 D penny emerged during these prosperous years, and every one of them carried with it not just copper, but the confidence of a nation on the rise. The D mint mark, tucked beneath the year on the obverse, tells us that this coin was born at the Denver Mint. Known for producing some of the finest coins of the mid-20th century, the Denver Mint left its distinct mark on countless wheat pennies. Collectors today seek out this specific detail, for mint marks not only identify the birthplace of coin, but also often determine its rarity and ultimate value. A no-mint mark coin from Philadelphia might be common, but a crisp Denver minted example, in high grade, can be the hidden star of a collection. What makes the 1957 D truly fascinating is its timing. By 1957, the wheat penny's long life was drawing to a close. Just 2 years later, in 1959, the U.S. Mint would retire the wheat stalks on the reverse in favor of the Lincoln Memorial design, marking the end of a 50-year chapter in American coinage. The 1957 D is thus one of the last representatives of the wheat penny legacy, a closing note in a series that had become a favorite of collectors and everyday citizens alike. While millions of 1957 D pennies were struck, rarity emerges when we look for coins in pristine condition. Most circulated heavily, rubbed down in the daily grind of commerce. Yet a small number were set aside, whether intentionally by collectors or simply forgotten in rolls and jars, preserving their fiery red luster. These untouched examples, still gleaming with the brilliance of fresh copper, are the ones that command extraordinary sums today. In auctions, they can leap from modest prices to jaw-dropping levels, shocking even seasoned numismatists. Errors and variations add another layer of intrigue. A double die, an off-center strike, or a misaligned minting could transform an ordinary 1957 D into a unique and highly coveted rarity. Collectors scour coin shows and dealer inventories, hoping to find one of these anomalies. For the lucky discoverer, such a coin could mean a fortune, proof that the tiniest imperfection can make all the difference between a penny and a priceless treasure. Beyond its material value, the 1957 D wheat penny carries emotional weight. It is a coin that connects generations. Grandparents remember spending it, parents remember saving it, and collectors today remember discovering it. It is a piece of history you can hold in your palm, a link to a time when life was simpler, when pennies still had the power to buy something meaningful, and when coins were crafted with artistry and pride. The 1957 D is also a reminder of Lincoln's enduring influence. His profile on the obverse stands as a symbol of unity, courage, and equality. The wheat stalks on the reverse speak of prosperity and growth. Together, they form a design that resonates with timeless values. Owning such a coin is not just about money. It is about preserving a piece of the American spirit. In the marketplace, stories of record-breaking sales capture imaginations. A seemingly ordinary roll of wheat pennies discovered in an attic can conceal a flawless 1957 D worth thousands or even more. Collectors chase these possibilities not only for financial gain, but also for the thrill of the hunt, the dream of finding a forgotten gem. It is this excitement that keeps the world of coin collecting alive, vibrant, and filled with surprises. Imagine the shock of realizing that a penny in your possession, something you might have dismissed as common pocket change, could be the very coin to transform your life. That is the magic of the 1957 D wheat penny. Hidden fortunes often were the simplest disguises, And this coin is proof that destiny can rest in the palm of your hand. The true beauty of the 1957 D is that it straddles two worlds. To the unknowing eye, it is just another cent. But to the informed collector, it is a treasure, a reminder of America's strength, and a symbol of hidden opportunity. Its story teaches us to look more closely at the things we take for granted, for sometimes the most extraordinary riches lie in plain sight. So, if you encounter a 1957 D wheat penny, do not let it slip through your fingers lightly. Examine it, cherish it, and remember the history it carries. For within that single copper coin rests not only the story of a nation's prosperity, but also the potential to rewrite your own fortune. In the grand stage of American coinage, the 1957, D remains one of the most captivating performers, ready to surprise anyone willing to give it a second glance. Next up, the 1952 Lincoln Wheat Penny with no mint mark stands as one of the quiet treasures of American coinage, a coin that at first appears simple and ordinary, yet carries within it a history of immense value and a story that still thrills collectors today. Struck in Philadelphia during a decade of transformation, this coin is more than just copper. It is a relic of a time when pennies truly mattered in daily commerce, and when the wheat penny design was an icon of American money. For those fortunate enough to hold a 1952 no-mint mark wheat penny in extraordinary condition, its worth can soar into realms that feel unimaginable, even life-changing. To understand its significance, one must step back into the early 1950s. America was a nation on the rise, rebounding from the aftermath of World War II and stepping confidently into an era of innovation, prosperity, and cultural growth. The penny was still a vital part of everyday life, able to purchase small but meaningful items. A 1952 penny might have bought a stick of gum, a piece of candy, or gone to a newspaper that told stories of a changing world. Each of these coins touched the lives of ordinary people, becoming small but enduring participants in America's mid-century story. The absence of a mint mark tells its own tale. Philadelphia, the oldest of the U.S. mints, traditionally did not place a mint mark on its coins during this period. The 1952 no-mint mark penny therefore speaks of the nation's founding mint, the very institution where American coinage was born in 1792. To own one of these coins is to hold a direct product of that legacy, linking the modern collector back to the roots of American money itself. The wheat penny design, introduced in 1909 to celebrate the centennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth, was already a beloved fixture in American culture. Victor David Brenner's portrait of Lincoln on the obverse remains one of the most iconic images in U.S. coinage, while the wheat stalks on the reverse symbolize abundance, growth, and the agricultural strength of the nation. By 1952, this design had been in circulation for over 4 decades, and it was already becoming a collectible piece of art in its own right. What makes the 1952 penny remarkable is not only its history, but its potential for rarity. While millions were struck, most circulated heavily, wearing down over decades of use. Only a fraction survived in near-perfect, uncirculated condition, their copper surfaces still blazing with the original red luster from the minting presses. These are the coins that astonish collectors and command astonishing prices in auctions, turning what once was a single cent into a fortune worth thousands, or, in the rarest cases, the kind of life-changing sums that capture headlines. Errors and unique variations magnify its allure even further. Missed strikes, double dies, or off-center strikes can make a 1952 no-mint mark penny unlike any other. For collectors, these flaws are not imperfections but masterpieces of rarity, elevating an already desirable coin into the realm of the extraordinary. It is here that the dream of unimaginable wealth begins to take shape, for these rare varieties can soar in value, making their owners overnight custodians of priceless artifacts. Beyond monetary worth, the coin also embodies Abraham Lincoln's enduring presence in American culture. His face, gazing resolutely from the obverse, represents the values of unity, freedom, and resilience. For many collectors, owning a 1952 wheat penny is like holding a small token of Lincoln's legacy, a reminder that even in something as modest as a cent lies the spirit of leadership and perseverance. There is also a personal and generational connection. Many families pass down jars or rolls of wheat pennies, often stored away as keepsakes. Imagine the thrill of discovering among them a flawless 1952 no-mint mark penny, its shine untouched by time. Such a find is not merely a financial windfall. It is a moment where history and destiny intersect, where a humble heirloom becomes a key to rewriting one's fortune. Collectors across the world are captivated by this coin because it symbolizes the thrill of discovery. Every time someone examines an old penny jar, there is a possibility of uncovering a hidden treasure. The 1952 no-mint mark wheat penny teaches us that great value often lies hidden in plain sight, waiting for the eye that knows how to look closely. On the grand stage of numismatics, the 1952 penny is a reminder that true worth is not always obvious. While many dismiss old pennies as relics of the past, the wise collector understands that within these coins live stories of artistry, resilience, and the power of history. This is what makes them so enchanting and why the 1952 no-mint mark penny continues to inspire fascination. If ever there were a coin that could transform lives overnight, this is one of them. From a single cent to unimaginable wealth, the leap may seem impossible, yet time and again, rare finds prove it to be real. The 1952 penny is a coin of dreams, where history, rarity, and fortune all converge in a way that makes it as powerful as it is priceless. So, if a 1952 no-mint mark wheat penny ever comes into your hands, do not let it slip away as mere change. Study it, protect it, and treasure it. For in that small copper disc rests not only a piece of American history, but also the astonishing possibility of fortune beyond belief. It is a coin that proves destiny can hide in the simplest of places, perhaps even in the palm of your hand.